Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, welcome back to the program, everybody. Things just got really weird. Really weird. Craig in Regina writing in on the Facebook wall. He says, "Great Scott, players are watching and asking fellow players questions you're interviewing on your show. What a concept. So cool, fellas. It is." And James Wilder Jr. basically saying he wanted his release from the Argos because he didn't like playing for Corey Chamberlain and Jacques Chapdelaine. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, he fell out of favor.
Right on.
And the other breaking news this morning, Bill Peters will not be head coach, again, of the Calgary Flames because of the allegations levied against him this week by a former player dating back 10 years ago. And Mike O'Shea meeting with the media at 11 o'clock saying he's had a conversation about a new deal with the Blue Bombers, but nothing is imminent. He is a coaching free agent. And this thought is that he wants to go to Toronto, and it's starting to look more and more like that every day. And I'm going to the grand opening of Popeye's Louisiana Chicken today. And I thought, like right after this show, I thought Lynch was going. And you're not, Lynch, because?
I don't like chickens.
And there's a reason behind the fact that you don't like chickens.
When I was a young boy, I went to your town of Milestone, to the Sandbrook Farm.
Oh, yeah, it's our fault.
And we went down there always every summer, and one of the things we did was cut the chickens. We killed a bunch of chickens, cut their heads off. And I was standing behind the guy who had the big knife, and he cut one chicken's head off, and it bounced right back into my lap and rumped all over me, and I was scared to death from then on. And when I was scared to death, I hate chickens, and I will not eat chickens.
That's like from 70 years ago.
Well, you asked me a question, I tell you the answer.
You can get over things.
So a headless chicken was giving you the business.
That's right.
And you can't get over it, you won't eat chicken. Okay, well, I'll go to Popeye's Louisiana Chicken on behalf of all of us.
Okay.
And their grand opening.
You do that.
I think you've riled up Derek Dennis. He says he'd like to address you, John. Can we do that at a later date?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a fantastic guy. I think you have his time with the Riders misconstrued, to quote Lamar McGriggs. And you're not old enough to remember that reference, are you, Dupes? John Scott coming up in moments. Morning sports update. There are several matinees on today's NHL slate as it's a long weekend in the U.S. Winnipeg plays this afternoon in Anaheim. Ottawa visits Minnesota. The Leafs are in Buffalo. New York Rangers and Boston Bruins will get things started in the early game. The Raptors put their 5-game win streak on the line tonight in Orlando. Toronto's tied with Boston for top spot in the NBA's Atlantic Division at 13-4. The Celtics visit Brooklyn this afternoon. A pair of teams with 2-2 records will meet in the early draw at the Canada Cup in Leduc, Alberta. Team Einerson and Team Carey will start playing a four-way tie with Team Schweidiger and Team Jones. There are 3 draws on tap ahead of tomorrow's playoffs, and that's on TSN. And Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has gone from blasting his coaching staff to talking about the playoffs, even after yet another loss. And he says he won't be making a coaching change. Jones says he thinks the 6-6 Cowboys could win the rest of their games. They still lead the NFC East after yesterday's loss to Buffalo. And the NLL season starts tonight. Did you know that, Dupes?
Yeah.
The Saskatchewan Rush are at the Colorado Mammoth. You can watch that on Bleacher Report Live. The Calgary Roughnecks, the defending champions, are at the Vancouver Stealth. This sports update for Seat Giant. Stop paying U.S. dollars for sporting events and concerts. We have all major sporting events and concert tickets in Canadian dollars. Enter promo code RPShow and get discounts for RP Show fans. Visit SeatGiant.ca. And also for Wendell Clark's Bar and Grill in Saskatoon, corner of Idlewild and Circle Drive. See you at Wendell's. Do we have John Scott ready, or we don't? Okay, that's fine. We will get to John Scott. 10 years in the National Hockey League with the Wild, Blackhawks, Rangers, Sabres, Sharks, Coyotes, and Canadians. He is 6'8", 260. He's from Edmonton, Alberta. John Scott coming up. We have a note from Agribition. Did you want to pass that along? Apparently my family's buzzing around our tent. What's going on? What was the update from Paul at Agribition
He
this
said
morning?
he ran into your cousin.
Which one?
Well, he didn't say.
There's a million of them.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I said. They're probably all around there. It's your family.
They are.
Right in the area. Of course they are. And he's
My
like,
cousin.
yeah, he said, where's Rod? Is he coming by to do is he doing the show? Is he coming by this afternoon? Yeah, we by this afternoon. And then he turned around and your cousin was gone. So
yeah, I've been getting texts all week from my families. Where are you? And it was a little confusing. They thought we were doing the show there. What about the other day when the old girlfriends were buzzing around?
Oh.
That was awkward.
Tell me about that. I got hit, by the way. It's been great.
Could we put a camera on Lynch? It's the Lynch exit, everybody. Brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Chicken.
How has this become a thing again? Look at
Whoa!
Pull up your pants. Keep them up.
That's what his wife says. Wow. Enjoy your lunch, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
The Old Boys Club will be meeting for lunch, and Lynch has to go. What's happening here?
I don't know.
Thanks, John. The two Johns.
I don't know.
Sandra writes in on the Facebook wall. She says the Bombers' presser was to announce nothing. Everyone sounds so depressed.
I know.
Weird for newly minted champions. Sandra's a very sharp lady, and is she not the one that runs the ABC Rider fan page?
Mm-hmm. I think.
What do you need?
My cane's in your car.
You brought your cane in here, remember? Because it was all wrapped up in my seatbelt. And I said, Patrick's all tied up. Your cane's here, Lynch.
We got a
somewhere.
search party going on. All right.
He wants the keys to my car. This is a real live show going on. Your cane is not in the cushions of the couch.
Wish we had a camera.
No, I'm glad
here.
we don't. Listen, I'll find your cane. I'll bring it to you.
Drop it off.
I'll drop it off. This is real life. I can't write this stuff. Can you show this guy? Can you show him?
Oh, my God.
From Conrad on Facebook. Oh, man.
Bone crusher.
They're all rolling by. Where are we? What's going on?
I don't know.
Where do we start? Where do we
feel
go
like
back?
I've just been time warped into some alternate universe of some kind. This has gone right off the rails. No, it's good.
Welcome to my life. Well, for one, let's just back up a little bit. James Wilder Jr., this clearly the players' show, kind of firing some shots at the Toronto Argonauts.
That's what I took out of that big time. With Jacques Chapdelaine and Corey Chamberlain, right? I just bluntly, no, I didn't like playing for them. It wasn't a good time. But you understand it, and you understand it because here's a player who fell out of favor and didn't have a lot of success this year, got hurt. And they're going through transition too. And so when he comes back and then he's like, I'm ready to go. I come off the rib injury. I'm healthy. Let's go. And they're like, yep, you can play special teams. And here's a guy who's supposed to be a premier running back in this league, Grey Cup champion. And you're telling him now he's got to play special teams and he's not a running back. And you don't want him to be a running back. That's not going to sit very well. So I completely understand why there'd be a disconnect there and why he fell out of favor and why he'd want to move on. And so I hope he gets a couple NFL looks. But if not, he's going to have an opportunity to come back to the CFL. He'll be in a training camp roster if he wants to be and be able to battle for a starting job.
Okay, so I've just tried to slow everything down, and good job on the Wilder thing. Thomas Miller writes in on the Facebook wall and says, Derek Dennis hid Frenzy's cane out of spite. Lynch went after Derek Dennis, and Derek needs to understand something. I don't know where Derek is. He's in the States somewhere. He's watching the program today, the Stamps star left tackle. Lynch is 82, and what did he say before the show? He can't get over his love for the Riders since he was a child. He's blinded by this love for the green and white, and he says it's a bit of problem.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't fit in with the Rough Riders, you're a problem.
To John Lynch.
To John Lynch.
Yeah.
So he had some not real kind words to say about Derek Dennis because it wasn't a fit here. And somebody alerted Derek Dennis to John's comments. He immediately jumped online. He started watching the show. Now he wants to take it up with John Lynch. Do it another time, please. I'll give you his number if you want, Bone Crusher. So there's that. Another here, Brenda in Saskatoon has written in and says the Riders have re-signed McKenna Henry to a 2-year contract, which is outstanding. Defensive tackle with the Rough Riders. And Conrad writes in and he says, nice to see the Riders starting to announce signings rather than having us wait until closer to free agency like it's a big secret. So there's that. And just one more. Derek Dennis has written in and says, I felt his pain. That was me in 2017 with Jones and McAdoo. Oh, he's talking about James Wilder. That's what Bone Crusher's saying. It wasn't a fit. So I guess overall, Darren, is this today, more than any other show that we've done out of the 125 previous, is like walking across the freeway in the middle of rush hour.
Yeah.
Like
really
zing,
is.
zing, zing,
Oh,
zing,
yeah.
zing, zing. Things going everywhere. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just trying to slow it all down here. But what we've realized and what the players are realizing, that this is the show and a place that the players can come on and tell their side of the story.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I've learned with the media, mainstream media particularly, over the last several years, they can skew the story to what the teams want. And I actually found that Tori Gurley and I have spent hours on the phone talking about that. Because when he was cut by the Argos, along with Vidal Hazelton and Kevin Elliott on the same day, we all thought they were a bunch of badasses. Notification comes across your phone. Argos have cut these 3 receivers. And we're like, oh, what'd they do?
Exactly.
Right? We're sitting around. And it wasn't anything like that. You know, Tori said they tried to make us out to look like the scapegoat. Now I've gotten to know Tori very well. He's coming into the bunker here next month. So here's an opportunity for James Wilder to come on the air today and tell his side of the story. Because we all know there's always 3 sides to the story, right?
Yep.
And the players actually, when they go off on Twitter in these instances, people just say, oh, he's just bitter. He's just, right? This is a little different when a guy comes on the phone on a program and tells his side of the story.
It is,
I guess, what I'm getting at.
No, and they all have a different side to the story. They all have their own story to tell, and they see it from a different perspective. And some of them, I mean, you're players. You're young, and you're at the top of your game and everything else. Sometimes the players don't see what the real problems are either. Sometimes the general managers and the coaches don't see actually what's happening or what the guys really like. So it's good to get the players' side of the story, and love having them on. That's what it's about. It's about, getting, every angle and then us reacting to it and getting our thoughts. And that's why I think we've had so much success, and it's become this great little meeting place in the morning.
Having coffee, Caliber Coffee. So as you went on that monologue, I'm just checking in on the Prairie Mobile text line. We got him. Norway checking in. Trent in Norway. He says, busy with family over hour 1, now signed in. CFL needs to improve sponsorship league-wide to hold players in place. Free agency will be interesting. Go Riders. The concept of loyalty with players is a horse that's out of the barn. It's gone. It's not coming back. There's no way that you're going to change loyalty because there is none. And it's gotten worse than ever. Mm-hmm. It's the way that it is. Fans need to accept it. That's what it is. I'll say it again. If you're a fan of James Neal, you would have needed 4 jerseys the last 4 years in the National Hockey League. It's just the way that it is. From Metal Shingle Guy, couple things. Nice image before lunch. And then he puts the emoji of a chicken. Did you not know that's how they kill chickens? I'm so grateful of the fact that I was raised on a farm.
Yeah.
I didn't like very much of it, but at least I learned where food comes from. What do you think a chicken breast comes from?
Yeah.
You got to kill them somehow.
I know.
What nice image. Before I eat every day, I know where it came from and how it happened.
No, but you're not thinking about that as your meal comes to you. You're not thinking.
Apparently now everybody is.
How did this happen? Heads off. Well,
what do you think?
Probably went through this. You're not thinking about it. You're just thinking of how good it is, or how yeah.
Okay. Metal Shingle Guy goes on to say Winnipeg is hooped large. Every team will be poaching coaches, free agents, and even the scouts. That's the high cost of success. That might be true, Metal Shingle Guy, and frankly, that would be new for Winnipeg. Sorry to say, but it's not new for the Saskatchewan Roughriders nor the Calgary Stampeders.
No.
The most winningest franchises get their people poached. That's the way that it is. Welcome to sports. I know it's been since 1990, but this is what's been going on since. Are they hooped? I don't know. Now, I texted a buddy in Winnipeg. I said, what's the O'Shea news? This was like a half an hour ago. He writes me back and says he signed a new deal. Are you trying to pull my leg?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
There's no news of that.
Do you see how fake news can get going around?
Yeah.
So no, Mike O'Shea, according to Darren Bombing, saying they have talked this morning about a new deal, but nothing's been signed. So, oh boy, dun, dun, dun. Here's the latest.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
And as the world turns, we get more and more news. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if Mike O'Shea's waiting and they're just negotiating and he's trying to get the best dollar figure from Winnipeg.
Smart.
And it is smart. Or, as soon as, if Toronto decides to make a move and they let go of Corey Chamberlain, all of a sudden you go back to Winnipeg and be like, look, toss in another stack, okay? Because now that's opened up. It's all
Man,
posturing.
I think we all love the interaction of this program.
Yeah.
And whether it be with the players, whether it be with the fans.
Oh, it's great.
Well, we're kicking at the box because I know for a fact there's players in this league that want to come on and their teams won't allow it for whatever reason. So we'll see where that plays out. But Sean in Saskatoon writes in and he says, this happened to Edmonton in 2015 and they haven't recovered. So it happened to the Riders when they were on top winning Grey Cups. And then when they were on the bottom, quite frankly, they stole that entire coaching staff from the Edmonton Eskimos. You brought that up the other day, and the Eskimos have not recovered since. But guess what? All is fair in love and war. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
For certain pro sports.
For certain pro sports.
And of course, the Riders got the jump on things with the Edmonton Eskimos, stole their whole coaching staff, and then the tampering law came in. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
And Winnipeg's finding out the hard way. This is how it works.
And we're not going backwards.
No.
We're not going backwards. We will go forwards. Now, doesn't mean we're not going to be able to move forward to old ways in a new way, if that made any sense to anybody. But we got to move forward. We keep moving forward. So if we want to get back to loyalty, it's got to be in a new way. It's not going to go back to the way it was. We can improve and we can create loyalty in new ways, but we have to keep moving forward.
About show number 126 and number 26s from Calgary, anonymous texter says, Rob Cote, number 26, unsung hero. I'll go with you on that. And he says, if O'Shea leaves now, Bomber fans will be upset initially. If he's going to leave now is not the time to announce it. Wait till the new year. That's an opinion. I would suggest if you're leaving, let us know. This is a lot like relationships, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to be here, just go.
It really, and I mean, and that's so true. If you don't want to be here,
just go.
Go. You know when it feels right and when it doesn't.
Right.
And you know pretty quickly. And so Mike O'Shea knows if it feels right. If he knows that they say home is where the heart is, right?
That's Toronto for him.
If it's Toronto, then go. Be happy, do you, because
Hakuna Matata, baby.
Hakuna Matata. Spending your life trying to please somebody else and not please yourself doesn't work. Not being selfish, but when you're happy, you're better for everybody else.
Yep.
Too. So,
well, yeah, we got a break because we got John Scott in next, but it just reminds me a little bit of with all these problems in the CFL right now, and I don't know. For one-year contracts, no loyalty, the coach's salary cap, those are problems. Are they huge problems? Are these things that need to be fixed before you start gallivanting to Europe and Mexico? I'm not sure, but I'd like to see the 9 franchises you have stable, maybe the 10th before you start looking outside. I think that's become pretty clear.
yeah.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.